I like to say that TVC has a finger on the pulse and our eyes on the streets. And here on this segment, we like to discuss trending stories that are shaping the world you and I live in. We begin today with some interesting news. Nigeria has officially launched a bid to host a Formula One Grand Prix in Abuja, making a bold push to bring the world's top motorsport back to Africa for the first time since 1993. Now, in a statement on Wednesday, the National Sports Commission chairman, Shehu Dikko, called this move historic and a major step in placing Nigeria firmly on the global sports map. Opus Racing Promotions has been appointed as the country's official representative for the bid, and Dikko has said that hosting a Formula One race would boost national pride, attract international attention, create jobs, and drive infrastructure development. As part of the pitch, invitations have been sent to F1 CEO Stefano Domenicali, racing legend Sir Lewis Hamilton, and renowned circuit designers, Tilk engineers and architects to visit Abuja and engage with the key stakeholders. And if this is successful, Nigeria will become the first African nation in more than 3 decades to host a Formula One Grand Prix. But the question is our continent ready for motorsport's grandest stage to return? This is a very thrilling idea, but the F1 requires speed, investment, and precision. Can Nigeria handle it? But if there ever was a capital for motorsport racing in Nigeria, it would be Abuja, my home city. Let's take a look at social media. We'll take 2 tweets. Daniel Ajimak says, Nigeria wants to host a Formula One K. With those potholes, 1 lap and the cars will need spiritual alignment, not wheel alignment. Pit stops will be for tire changes and trauma counseling. Even the F1 drivers will be like, abeg, na rally we dey do. And Jersey and Boot says, those Abuja roads are capable of hosting Formula One. The roads are in better condition than the ones in Monaco. Very interesting. Moving on to the world of social media. Social media real estate commentator and activist Scott Iguma is trending once again, this time for opening up about his alleged mistreatment in police custody. Now, earlier this week, recall that Scott Iguma was reportedly arrested after repeatedly accusing the P1 real estate company of defrauding Nigerians by selling fake land papers. His arrest, of course, sparked a lot of outrage online, and many activists called for his immediate release. Just a day later, he was granted bail, and now he's opening up about what he says happened behind bars. He claims that police officers tried to force him to sign a false statement, and when he refused, he says he was stripped and thrown into a cell. According to Iguma, he'd submitted over 130 petitions on behalf of alleged victims before P1 got wind of it and orchestrated his arrest. He's now accusing the Nigerian police of acting as a pawn in the hands of the highest bidder. Take a look at this video.
Firstly, to the Nigerian police. To the Nigerian police. Now, this is how everything happened. So, like you all know, I've been calling out P1s for the past 2 months. So, initially, when I started calling out P1, I was about a month into the call-out. So, P1 never reached out to me. P1 has never reached out to me. Arrest this man. He just said they should arrest me. Then the next thing, the legal just came, threw a document at me. I said, sign it. I said, let me read it first now. He said, read what is, sign it. I said, no, I can't sign anything without reading. He said, you don't want to sign, you must sign it. I said, I cannot sign anything without reading it. So I said, okay, if you will not let me read it, allow my lawyer read it. So they brought a statement and said, I'm the one that writes it, that I should sign. I said, I'm not the one that writes this statement. They say I'm the one that writes it, that this is my handwriting. I said, I'm not the one that wrote this statement. This is not my handwriting. They say I'm the one that wrote it. My lawyer kept on telling them, you calm down, let's read this thing. He said he's not the one that wrote it.
We've seen this type of system play out time and time again. Somebody comes out to ask for corporate or social justice. He's arrested. We are enraged on social media, and he comes out to say what happened behind prison cells. He's calm for a while. He comes out again. Cycle over cycle. This is very, very disturbing. Why are we constantly trying to silence whistleblowers? Let's take a look at social media. Matt Mack says, just imagine if he's not illiterate and has a little money. He would have been forgotten in jail. Sadly, that is a reality for many people. Weibo says, Nigerian police are tools being used by the rich and powerful against the poor and the masses. Team, this is very interesting. Now, I'm from Abuja, and I'll tell you, they love to whiz around in fast, shiny cars. I'll tell you that. But do you think we're ready for an F1 Grand Prix? Is this a priority with everything going on in the country? Security concerns, inflation rates. Are we focusing on the wrong things?
Yeah. Is it a priority? No. But is it going to make money and bring lots and lots of international visitors to Abuja? Yes, that will happen. When I read the story, I even asked aloud, what roads are they going to use? Is it the internal roads in Abuja? And I was happy when I read down and I saw that Tilk Engineering and Architects are going to be invited for a meeting. So that means that they might just build a race course for this. If that's the case, good. Business-wise, it will bring a lot of money to Abuja. It will bring a lot of international visitors into Nigeria, and it will also create a whole lot of jobs for Nigerians. If the race course is not built, then I will say Nigeria is not ready. If it is, it's a good thing. Scott Iguma. I feel really sorry that you had to face all that you did in the police station. However, it is just you talking. So it's difficult for somebody to come to a conclusive analysis when the story is coming from one side.
Talking about Scott Iguma, there are those who have spoken about their ordeal in the hands of policemen when they are locked up. We've seen Fisai Oshoyombo talk about it before now, and it goes to show that the institution needs to do a lot of work regarding their image when it comes to locking people up and the kinds of experiences they face when they are there. When we are talking about restructuring and ensuring a holistic approach to the image of the police institution or the policing institution, it does not just happen on those who stand on the roadside, but also what happens throughout the ecosystem of the police force, be you at the police station or outside. I think a lot needs to be done regarding that. And, for the Grand Prix coming to Abuja, I would want Shehu Diko to use that money, channel that money to other areas of sport in Nigeria. We have seen some other persons, Athletics Federation, complaining about finances, and some other persons, you know, just complaining about every other thing regarding finances. If we can channel those monies to do more development and look at the welfare of our athletes, across the board, I think that will be better for Nigeria. Even though, yes, Grand Prix will bring money, but how about the welfare of those who are already on the ground, who have been complaining? Can we channel those monies for something better?
And I'll pick up from there. It's wise to channel those monies for something better. But I welcome new ideas. I love to welcome new ideas. And the first tweet you read, it just made me say that, why is it that Nigerians, most of the times, we're very quick to say bad things about Nigeria? So this idea has come up. The next thing you're talking about potholes. And Olamide, you live in Abuja. Some of the roads in Abuja are actually really good. Arguably, they are good. Absolutely. You know, I've been to Abuja a couple of times, and I don't really see potholes like that. I think that as Nigerians as well, we should always try to put our country, like, let it look good, because we're always looking for the bad, the bad, the bad. I think if this happens, I love Formula One. I love racing. I think it's a good one. I think we'll bring a lot of international people to Nigeria. You know, we can do things side to side. We can still take care of the welfare of, you know, our sport people, and also bring about new ideas, because this is the first time it's going to happen. I'm really open to it. I pray that that racing, you know, course, they go and they do it. Like, we're not just hearing about it and we will not hear about it again. I really pray that they get to do it. And talking about Scott, I was not in the police station, so I'm not really going to say much. But yes, we've had a lot of people come out to say that this is what the police did to them. I know that we still have some very good police. So when I'm talking about the police, I don't just want to go one-sided, because I've seen police that do the job diligently and do the right thing. It's so sad that he had to go through that. But the people that are doing that, I just hope that one day they are finally brought to book.
Yeah. For Grand Prix, you know, one of the names that the Minister of the FCT is known for is Mr. Project. Hence, at one of his media chat, he was asked why is he into road construction more and more often. And he said, look, if you create more roads, it opens the place to more development. Yeah. And so I'm thinking that this is the thought in his mind as to wanting to host this event in Abuja, and you know, that company being called in to come see how that can be done. Well, maybe that money would have been used for something else, but the minister has his own thought as to what he wants to do. Let's watch and see how that comes out. For this, my brother, who, you know, was, according to him, ill-treated by the Nigerian police, I think the Nigerian police has matured enough to that level where you can please always stand tall to be an institution that represents excellence, justice, and order. We cannot continue to be hearing the name of the Nigerian police in this bad light always, anytime anybody visits. The scale is always higher in bad than in good. And so the police, you have whether this is even right or wrong, this is an alleged allegation from his side because we haven't heard from you yet. However, please, the police, I think you guys are old enough to please clean your house and make sure things look good every other time. That's all I have to say.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tim. I think the irony of the Grand Prix being about to be hosted in Abuja is not lost on Nigerians. When you look at countries like Monaco, who've hosted the Grand Prix in the past, they don't have some certain villages that are struggling with road infrastructure or flooding. The irony isn't lost. I'll take some more stories. Moving on in the world of social media, a family drama has taken over social media after a man was allegedly beaten by his wife's brothers for physically assaulting her. Now, the viral video shows the husband being whipped and confronted in his home after reportedly beating his wife, and the confrontation quickly escalated, with bystanders trying to intervene. The clip has sparked divided reactions online. Some condemn the husband's alleged abuse, while others question if the violent retaliation by the wife's family was necessary. According to the National Demographic and Health Survey, 1 in 3 Nigerian women aged 15 to 49 has experienced almost fatal physical or emotional abuse from a partner. If you ask me, this is an intervention. Women are constantly, they lose their lives at the hand of partners. This was an intervention if you ask me. But what do I know? Let's take a look at social media. The brothers were not having any of that. Fortunate official says, if this happens all the time, we won't see violence in so many marriages again. But then again, some women don't speak out. And Feliz says, never tell your family about your relationship or marriage problems because you might forgive your partner, but they wouldn't. Very true. Moving on, still in the world of social media, a video making the rounds online shows Nigerian soldiers exposing what they claim is a month's food ration meant for 9 men. The visibly inadequate supplies in the video triggered concern, with many asking how troops expected to defend the country are being treated this way. And the soldiers are saying that this isn't a one-off, but part of a growing pattern of poor welfare and neglect across various operations. As this footage stirs conversation online, one question now hangs in the air. How can the people risking their lives for the nation of Nigeria stay strong when they are being starved on the front line? If you ask me, if an underfed soldier is a vulnerable soldier. These are men that are risking their lives on the front line. If you can't cover their basic needs, how are they going to stand for us? Let's take a look at social media. Greg 420 says, hunger is a tool of the government and it reflects everywhere. And Imam Mesigo says, but when they protested at toll gates, una shot fire, many innocent souls, what do you expect from the government? Warehouse. People will not even send una. Moving on into the world of social media still, Nigeria's most controversial personalities, Portable and VeryDarkMan, have officially taken their long simmering feud from social media to the studio, delivering diss tracks at each other that have fans throwing their weight behind their chosen camp. Now, this feud was reignited when Portable accused VDM of exploiting the tragic death of the singer Mohbad for his personal fame. VDM responded to this very quickly, resurfacing an old video of Portable being beaten and accused of stealing a phone and a tricycle. VDM then proceeded to release a hard-hitting diss track aimed at Portable, and almost immediately, in typical Portable style, Portable fired back with his own song, escalating the feud by taunting VDM's parents and doubling down. Now, the stage is now set and fans are choosing sides. Are you backing VDM, the provocateur, or Portable, the street king? Choose your fighter. Take a listen. Listen to these diss tracks. Moving on, let's take a look at social media. Madam Gunner says, VDM claims to hate bullies, and yet he's doing that because it's Portable, everyone has expected. Nigerians are blind and gullible. What's the difference between him and the politicians? Indeed, bullying should never be accepted. He is Mide says, others, they breathe in oxygen. Portable, they breathe in wahala. If you guys have time, I really do urge you to look at the diss tracks. Listen to them, they're hilarious. Holuwa Rotimi says, they should wrap it up at this point. We've got many pressing issues to attend to. I agree, like the Grand Prix. In the world of international news, French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte have filed a defamation lawsuit against U.S. conservative influencer Candace Owens, following claims by Candace Owens that Brigitte was born male, an allegation that the couple describes as entirely false and harmful. The case was filed in Delaware in a superior court, not in France, and centers around Owens' repeated claims that Brigitte was born under the name Jean-Michel Troneau, who is actually her older brother. The Macrons say that the rumor has caused them ongoing emotional distress and public harassment, and they've accused Owens of using the narrative to build her podcast and social media audience. Even though Candace Owens is yet to respond and the French presidency remains silent on the matter, the couple insists that this campaign has crossed the line into dehumanizing and targeted harassment. At what point, we have to ask, does online commentary become reputational harm on a global scale? But what a lot of fans pointed out, and this is very interesting, is the fact that if being transgender is so acceptable, why is the Macron family seeing this as defamation? What's so wrong in being a transgender woman? Anyway, before I take some tweets, I'd like you guys to please chime in on the conversation with the hashtag TrendingNowTVC on any social media platform of your choice. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Let's take a look at social media. Deepak Kumar says, this isn't just a lawsuit, it's a diplomatic message. France is standing up to defend the dignity of its First Lady and the office that she represents. Personal attacks without evidence cross the line, and Macron is well within his rights to seek justice. National pride matters, and so does truth. We'll take one more submission. Lucien Wolf says, so Macron flew all the way across the Atlantic just to sue Candace because she hurt his wife's gender identity. Imagine being the president of France and your biggest national security threat is a black woman with a podcast. This is actually very interesting. Tim, I'll ask you the question again. If being transgender is so acceptable in the free world, why are the Macrons seeing this as defamation?
Whether it's transgender or no transgender, yeah. He feels that a line has been crossed and he has every right to seek justice for his wife. You have to protect your wife. That's the mark of a gentleman. For the Portable and VDM thing, the surprising thing for me is that VDM could sing. So he now has a track, and these guys are making money off us. Let's forget about their quarrel and move on. The Nigerian army needs to be better treated. You know, this is an institution where soldiers need to have high morale to do their job. We need to feed them better. We need to treat them better, much better than they are being treated right now. And for the young man that beat his wife and got a dose of what he was serving, good for you.
Absolutely. I think that those who say keep your family issues away from this matter, how about those who kept quiet and were killed as a result of these matters? I think that if you have a domestic issue and you cannot handle it, my mom will say the night is long. It's better you step out if you know that that issue is happening. So she should have perhaps left and gone back to her siblings, her family, and then see if it is something they want to resolve or not. But then obviously he does not like the way he's been treated, and he got a dose of his medicine. Can he swallow it? I hope he learns his lesson moving forward. For Macron, he has a right and he's exercising that right. Leave family issues out of your conversation. Mind your business. Candace, that's
period.
And then I'll speak about the story about the man that got beaten for beating his wife. And I think that, you know, it was a step in the right direction, because most of the times we see how, you know, women are treated in some marriages, and it's just really sad. And like Veronica said, move out if it's not working, rather than your dead body, move out. And I love the fact that the brothers really showed him that that's their sister, that's the way forward, and that's what family is about. And then moving forward to the soldiers, I've said it a lot of times, they are the reasons why they protect us. You know, when we are sleeping, they're out in the bushes protecting us. So it's only fair. I don't even think they need to cry for that. It's fair that, you know, they are treated right. Hunger is a very bad thing. Hunger and poverty, you know, they say the lack of money or the lack of, you know, money is the root of all evil. But I tell you, it's when you don't have money that you see how, you know, you can do so many things for it. So, you know, I just pray that they are treated right, because they deserve it. It's their right, actually.
I couldn't agree less, absolutely. I mean, I've traveled quite a number of times to the north. I've interacted with men in uniform, you know, across different states. And please, I don't know why this is not even a matter that is resolved immediately or amicably or with some urgency to it. It's not a hard thing to make our soldiers well fed and give them what they require. Our guys at the top who are in charge. Make sure that be the case, please.
Absolutely.
For VDM and Portable, they're just having fun. That's all it is, you know, and making money off of social media. Kudos to you.
I miss when rappers actually used to come out with hard-hitting good music.
I know,
diss
right?
tracks. I'm so disappointed.
Portable and VDM is giving us good.
No, I don't.
So, let them enjoy themselves, and you know, a family should be preserved. Right. Do whatever you want to do. Don't intrude.
All right. I hope that the military would step out and speak about the videos making the rounds. But on that note, thank you, Olamide, for the stories. This is where we have to wrap things up on the program for today. But let's let you know that the views and reactions of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Up next is Your View with the Ladies. Afterwards this morning with Yori Folari. Stay safe.